saw that was like, I think you changed your shirt. I think the highlights are different. The lipstick is different.
All right, we are officially live on YouTube. Hear me, gente. Let me go over and go live on IG.
You still have perfectly white teeth, though. That didn't change. I know.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. I gotta keep y'all around. All right, let's see here. Make a girl feel good. Thank you. It's my dad. Dad is a great dentist.
Oh, nice. What? Nice. All right, we just saw that you went live.
Yeah.
Button, and then now I see you on there.
Awesome. Yeah. No, let's see. I probably will have to mute. You might have to mute your audio as well, so that we won't hear the feedback.
So I can't.
You might have to mute your audio as well.
I'm gonna turn my audio.
And plus, it's on the delay.
Yeah, it will delay. That's okay. It will delay. And of course, this thing is trying to fall down on me. Really? Really? Of all times?
Is that okay on your end?
No, that's fine on my end, darling. Hey, everybody.
Oh, you can't see both of us now. Only one of us now.
I know. Why you hiding?
Oh, because it's only half the screen or something now. You just...
Yeah.
Your angle's too... No, you...
Why you
back like
that?
Oh
yeah, flip your is it the tablet?
Yeah, it's a tablet.
Yeah, just flip your tablet and you should be good.
Use that button right there. See if that does it. Nope. No, we have to flip it.
But yeah, literally.
But then we wouldn't be able to flip it. But we can't charge it though. Turn it upside down.
Oh my.
Flip it all the way over, brother. That doesn't. It's not like a cell phone. No, it's not.
Oh, shame.
I just let you figure it out.
Hey, everybody coming in. Join the party. Come on in. This is real life, not scripted. We're just working out some technical difficulties. Right. I hope you brought your snack. I hope you brought your beverage. I'm hanging out with the Downing brothers, and we are working things out. Hello, my gente. Hey, mi gente on YouTube. Hey, Annette. Hi, Kevin. How are you guys doing? Kevin, you made it. You made it, Kevin. Awesome. Hi, guys. All right. So everyone who's on here, who's hanging out on Instagram, the best way to join the conversation, of course, it's tradition for me to flip this around. The best way to join the conversation is to kind of hang out with us on YouTube. So here's how you can do it. Go and just click the link in my bio and it'll bring you right over to YouTube. Trust me, it's going to look much better if you just slide on over to YouTube. Because if not, you're just going to see the side of my face. That's not fun. That's not fun. So let's do this. Welcome, everybody. As everyone comes in and hangs out, go ahead and put in your city and state, please. I want to know where everybody is from.
Chicago,
baby. Actually, what is the weather? Is it still warm there? Is it cold now?
Nah, we just got snow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's still unseasonably warm even with that though. Yeah, because it's only it's like 35 degrees. So along the lakefront, we started experiencing flooding. Because it's supposed to be ice and snow. It's not supposed to be just water just crashing in. The waves. Yeah. And global warming, I guess.
Definitely, because it's still super warm here. Link. Okay. Pin it, and let's rock and roll, gentlemen. All right. Once again, if you're hanging out on Instagram, welcome. My name is Gia. I'm the Kaizen investor. The party is actually really happening on YouTube. So all you have to do is click the link in my bio and then swing on over to YouTube. Hi, people on YouTube. Because it's going to be kind of weird if you look at the side of my face. You want the full effect, and you want to see all two of these chocolatey brothers. You need to be on YouTube. It's just like that. So tonight I'm hanging out with the lovely Downing brothers. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh man, great. Seriously, the year's off to a phenomenal start. Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. So for the two people who are on here who have no idea who you are and what you do, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Anthony. My name is Anton, and we're the Downing brothers, and we're straight out of the south side of Chicago. So We both are 10-year veterans of the fire department. And we are real estate investors, and we are now educators. And, we've actually kind of always been educators, but now real estate, educators. And we have seminars and our podcast, and we go to all types of live events and host things to educate people about what we do. Every now and then we'll appear on HGTV on our show, Double Down.
How in the world did two firefighters get started in real estate?
Man, really a challenge from our mother.
Really?
I started with mom because I remember back when I graduated, we graduated from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and I got my first job, and I was still living at home with my mom, straight out of college, and I came home with that first paycheck. And she could just feel that I was feeling myself. So, she said she wanted me to sit down at the kitchen table before I go to the bank to cash this check. Because they didn't do direct deposit yet. It was my first check, so I had a hard check or whatever.
Gotcha.
And it was a couple of things. It wasn't just real estate. It was about do you have a retirement account? Do you have a 401k yet? When did they tell you can establish that? She was asking me all these questions. I'm like, Mom, what are you asking me all these questions for? And at the end of the day, it was just like, she's like, you know what? I can show you better than I can tell you. And she said, sit at this table. I'll be right back. She went to her bedroom, came back. And this was the first time that my mother had ever showed me her financial statements. Well, she started breaking out all types of papers. Look, this is the mutual fund right here. This is what I put into. She went through all of them. Right. So she had about 4 different retirement accounts that she showed, and there was like 25 grand in one, 50 grand in another, 150 grand in this one. And she said they all started from putting $100 per paycheck into those accounts. And she said, son, from the first time that I moved to this country, every job that I had, I started a retirement account, and I never stopped paying into those accounts, even when I switched jobs.
Right there.
And that was the result of that. And she said, listen to me, put $100 a paycheck to begin with into these accounts. And then secondly, she said, you're not a real man. Woo. Repeat that part. You're not a real man until you own the floors that you walk on. And so that was the challenge that I own my own home. Challenge that I just don't spend that paycheck frivolously and not do something to invest for the future. And for her, that was making sure you have a life insurance policy, make sure you have a retirement account, make sure that you own a home so that you can build equity. And that was like at 22, that first real conversation that I'll never forget. I still see it vividly. And then I called him and told him about it because he was still in Champaign. Man, look, it's like, oh, you went home to that, huh? Yeah. Took all the celebration right out. But from that point on, though, I really, as we say now, dream, plan, execute. I dreamed about showing her exactly the man that I am, that I'm going to save the money, get my credit to where it needed to be, and that I was going to own a home. And meet that challenge, and I did. At what, 24? Yeah, no, 25. 25. At 25. Now it didn't happen overnight, right? So I was like a month away from turning 23. So it roughly took 2 years to get to the point to make that first home purchase. But it happened because of that challenge. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna show them that I'm a real man, And then, and let me say this. I didn't buy my first property till I was 31. So we're not trying to say that you need to be a certain age. You need to hurry up and do about 25 or anything like that. Right. Yeah, you do it when you awaken to it and when the circumstances are right. But it's still about developing a mentality, because before the actions take place, a mentality changes in your mind of what you want for yourself.
You're speaking about
everything starts up here.
Mindset. Let's go, sir.
Yeah, and in the mindset, that changes. It is. Whether it's your health and how you want to build that muscle, or if it's how you want to build that bank account, it all still starts up here with a mentality and the habits that you start to build. The habit of saving money, the habit of bypassing, splurging on things that depreciate versus saving for something that will appreciate.
Yeah.
Everybody follow that. Depreciation meaning losing value versus appreciation meaning gaining value. You know, so it all started with a mentality that I have, you know, right now. You know, and then on top, then it also shifts though from not just saving for something, but trying to figure out how you can create extra streams of income. You know, because it's one thing to save, right? You save and you're like, okay, I'm saving, but you can create, if you create extra streams of income because you got a second job, and that's you know, those of us who have like that job mentality, you think, let me get a second job and work 7 days a week, which is what I did in the beginning. But then it's like, okay, what other streams of income can I create? And like we were talking about, you know, before we got on here, we were talking about the podcast and our advertising dollars. Like that's creating another source of income, and that money is coming into our account on our podcast. You know, without us, like we go to sleep, I wake up the next morning, I look at the analytics. Oh, we got some more money that went into our podcast account. Right. So you know, it's creating these streams of income, because we own. You already said our rental income? I did not say our rental income. Yeah, I think that came before. Yeah, that came before the podcast. Because we had, we have three. Two of our buildings are 3 families, and then one of our buildings is a 4 family. I'm not sure if y'all use the terms 3 flat and 4 flat out on the east.
That's a Midwest flat over here. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, creating that rental income so you have cash flow. That's money that's coming in that you don't have to physically go to a job and earn. So it's like, you know, starting to think, or if you start a business, you have your merchandise, you know, you start your Shopify, create your designs, start selling your t-shirts, and then people are ordering that while you're asleep. You're still getting shirt orders coming in. So it's just like, you know, finding ways to create streams of income and also having that mentality that when you get that income, that you're saving it for something that will appreciate, meaning you're going to buy a business, start a business, buy a property that appreciates, buy a property for cash flow, or buy it for equity, because it's 2 different strategies that we apply, you know, when it comes to profit.
But here's my thing, though. First of all, let's segue back a little bit. Let's step back. I want to know the way you gentlemen are speaking. First of all, can we just shout out to Mom? Shout out to Mom.
Mom, we love you. Yeah.
Shout out to Mom, because you hit on a very, very important point, which is this. Your mother was financially literate, and she bestowed that upon to you.
Right.
She did not only bestow it, but correct me if I'm wrong, she also showed it to you, right? Wasn't your mom somehow involved in real estate as well? Is that correct?
She showed us the way. Like, I mean, we always grew up in a home that our parents owned, whether it was when our parents were together. Because both of our families generationally, okay, I'm not using my hands right there, but both families generationally going back beyond our parents to our grandparents on both sides owned property.
Yeah.
Right. So there were always examples in our family of owning a home. Like everybody, all of our parents, our grandparents, and even our great grandparents all owned property. So that's the norm in our family, both here in the United States and in Bahamas. Yeah. So we're fortunate in that way. But now it's about us. Like, if that's not something that happened in your family, then it's about you starting that tradition.
Exactly. And not only starting the tradition, but also what I love about your story is that you're normalizing it. Your family normalized it for you, so that when you guys got started, no one raised up us at a brow. Yeah, no one looked at you funny. It's the norm. That's what you're supposed to do. Right. And that's why, once again, shout out to Mom, the fact that she said, my babies will be men, and then own what they live in. I love that.
And you know, and for me, you talk about normalizing, we're talking about, for me, I normalize anyone who's in my network. Like, you're not actually personally in my actual circle unless you have that same mentality of ownership. Or and if you don't own something, of being on your way to owning it. And if you don't have that mentality, you probably don't hang out with me. Or hang out with us.
Yeah. Ooh, that's another great point. Having the right circle. But okay, I'm gonna stay focused because I can go everywhere. So when you guys acquired your first property together.
No, I did.
Go for it. Tell me.
I bought my first property on my own. He brought his first property on his own. We were down the line before we actually started working together. Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, it started with the second property. The first time I did a 203K renovation loan. And so for those of us who don't know what a 203K renovation is, there's an FHA program called 203K where they give you the money, they finance the money for you both to purchase the property and to renovate the property. They give you the money to do both and enroll it into one loan.
Gotcha.
So I bought a property that was a short sale that was below market value. And to fully understand the story, the condo that I bought a condo in my first purchase in 2007. And 12 months later, we were in a recession. Right? 2008, we're in a recession. It lost all value. It went from 150,000 down to 30,000. So then I started doing because we have Google. Like, you can figure out a solution, because we're in a generation that has Google. So I went on Google and started trying to figure out how can I purchase another property, because I'm ignorant to all of these things. How do I purchase another property, get financing for another property? And I stumbled upon a 203K loan, and there were only 8 banks in the Chicagoland area that did it. So I called up a couple of those banks, scheduled an appointment with one. I don't name names of banks anymore.
No, don't do that. Don't get police. I'm not saying we ain't naming them. No.
Right. But I went to that bank. They told me the rules. I told them I already owned a property using the FHA loan. They told me the loophole of how I can write this letter saying I'm moving from a condo to a detached single family home. So if I'm moving from one category to another, I can use another FHA loan. There was a loophole. So I wrote the letter. And then I went ahead and went through the mortgage application process, got the approval. And then once I got the 203K, I understood that I found this out, that if you own your primary residence for 24 months, then you can sell that residence free of capital gains tax, meaning that whatever the profit is, you get to keep all of it tax free. I also knew that when if I had to short sell, my condo, that I was going to take a 2-year hit to my credit. So I said 2 years hit to my credit, 2 years of owning the second property, and I'll be able to walk away tax free. That coincides. I didn't need my credit to purchase anything else, because I had already purchased a reliable car, and I didn't plan on making any other purchases during that 2-year period. I had everything I needed, and then I was going to continue to save my money up and do any home improvements that I may have to do. I'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. And then after 2 years, my credit would go back up. I would be able to sell the second property and have a check, and I was going to be able to implement the plan. So I knew I had a 2-year plan.
And see, where most people go wrong is when they just go ahead and let houses go into foreclosure without first having their next plan or their next property in hand. Right. He didn't short sell that property and let his credit go until after he got the next property.
Exactly.
Yeah. But here's the thing, gentlemen. That is a classic example of knowledge is power. If you don't know, you don't know. In many situations, people don't know what's available to them. And the banks are going to tell you that. The banks are about their money. They're not about your welfare and livelihood, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so, you learn the rules to the game. One of our favorite games. There's 2 games I believe that every child should learn. Chess and Monopoly. Chess and Monopoly. If you have children or nieces or little cousins and you're trying to imply some knowledge on them, and so that even if it's subtly, so that you don't overwhelm them with information, chess, because they understand that there's consequences to moves.
Yeah.
That a move will either benefit them down the line or that it will hurt them down the line, but they learn consequences by playing chess. Monopoly, they learn about ownership. They learn that if you pass go, you get $200, but you can't win the game by passing go and collecting that paycheck.
That's just a salary.
It's just a salary. It's a paycheck when you collect $200. They learn that if you own the most property and that you have the most actual houses and hotels on it, that you will win the game through ownership. There are 2 games that your children should learn: chess and Monopoly.
And I'm going to add to that. And the third game is cash flow.
Cash flow.
Oh, yeah. Kiyosaki. That's Kiyosaki's game, isn't it?
Yes. To me, that is, once you start playing cash flow, you're going to think Monopoly is just peanuts. Have you ever played it before?
I've never played cash flow.
Oh,
never played it.
I'm in Chicago.
We read the book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
You're going to like Monopoly what?
All right, so this is what we need to do. We need to do a meetup game night with Monopoly, chess, and cash flow.
Cash flow all day. Yeah. Love it. I love that game so much. I love it immensely. But okay, you get me all excited about the cash flow game. But okay, so we got it. You've worked together. Tell me about
Wait. So the reason why so the point at which we started working together was on the 203K.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing my first renovation. It ended up being our first renovation. Why? Because I wanted to get my hands dirty and I wanted to be involved every single day with the contractors as they move through doing replacing the bathrooms, replacing the kitchen, building the porch, all the different aspects of, laying a new wood floor, so on and so forth. I wanted to learn everything, be hands-on and learn. But as a firefighter, I'm gone for 24 hours. So in those 24 hours that I'm gone, I said, okay, my brother can be there on the days that I'm not there.
Right. He tagged me in like it was WWE.
Tagged in.
And now, and a lot of our contractors didn't know the difference. They dealing with twins,
Oh, that's right.
Same energy. They felt the same.
And everything.
So I'm not the substitute teacher. I'm still Anthony. Like when other people come by projects, our contractors look at them like, all right, whatever. They don't know what's going on. But I knew exactly what's going on, what we needed to happen.
Right.
But the best thing about 203K loans is that the 203 consultant that comes in on the bank's behalf, will say, hey, was this wiring done to this specification?
To code.
To code. I have a list of things that need to be done before the next draw comes out. Are they all done? That person keeps your contractors honest, whether you know what's going on or not.
Yeah, but in the process, it's your experience. So now when the consultant showed up, I'm walking with the consultant, listening to everything he's saying about what is or isn't done. And now, so now I'm taking notes and now I'm learning rather than just saying, oh, yeah, you take care of it. I'll be sitting out in my car. No, I'm learning the process. And then that's when I start to get intrigued. I'm like, wait a minute, I can do this. I can manage, these contractors. So, and then that sparked, then it was like, yo, we're a team. We can be there 7 days a week. We can make sure that everybody's on schedule, that they're doing what they're supposed to do, that it's being done to code. Plus, as firefighters, we know building code. It's part of our job to know building construction and how things are supposed to properly be put together. So,
but then here's my other question for you. Even though, yes, you have a home court advantage because you were born with a buddy, you were born with a partner. When it comes to roles, because you're different human beings, did you guys kind of fall into your roles? Or did you kind of figure out as you went along, okay, Anton, you're better at this. Anthony, you're better at that. Let's divvy up these roles.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, we argue about everything, and through our arguments and disagreements about process or the correct color paint or whatever it is, we kind of like sharpen each other's skills because it does make me think critically about what decisions we're making and what needs to be done.
And understand, like, after that house was done, we had great parties, poetry sets. 3 years later, we sell that. Well, he sells it. This is in his name, right?
Yeah.
And sells it for a profit of $81,000. A profit of $81,000, right? So we're like, yo, now it's time for us to go do flips. The first flip was a 3 flat.
Okay.
And then Anthony, he was adamant that we don't tear down all of this drywall throughout the 3 units. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think we should just get rid of all this drywall to see what's behind the walls. And that ended up being a big mistake that we didn't take it down to the studs and redo,
Why? Educate me.
I learned a couple things on that. One, that you get a couple of opinions.
Okay.
Right. 2, you kind of know the worth of your contractor, because if they allow you to do things and they just don't say anything and say, oh yeah, I do exactly what you tell me to do, rather than to educate us about what should be done, then you're probably not working with the right contractors either. Yeah. And that was the biggest problem with that, because we argued about it and Anthony prevailed because he thought we would save some money by not tearing all of this drywall out and putting our own stuff up. And, lost some money, lost a lot of time, lost a lot of money. Yeah.
All right. But you learned some major lessons though, right?
Man, it's major lessons on multiple levels. One, you learn a lesson about how it's properly done. Just the actual act of actually how you want to lay out your drywall, or any number of other things that happened on the project. But 2, we also learned about discernment,
as far as people's character. What we should be looking for in the character of the people we hire to work for us, whether they're there simply to get a paycheck or whether they're there to do the project correctly. You listen, ask questions, and then sit back and listen to how they answer the questions. Because you want to ask yourself, are they making suggestions about how it can be done best? Or are they just saying, what do you want done? Oh yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
You know, if they just say yes, yes, yes to everything, and they say, oh yeah, what's your budget? Oh yeah, we can make it happen for that budget, and not say, well, you know, hey, it's gonna and give you an exact cost, an exact timeline. They just say, oh, we can get it done vaguely. Then you're probably not working with the right contractors. And in any number of contractors, where we're talking about a carpenter or a plumber or an electrician, if they're not educating you, if you're not learning something from them, and then using all of that information that you brought together to come to a conclusion of how best to move forward, and they just simply say, yes, we can get it done,
right?
Then you probably have a problem.
Good night.
But you know, some of these things you only learn through experience.
So let me ask you this. Now that you have the experience, what are some common rookie mistakes you see other people doing when they're doing their first flip?
Paying people up front or paying too much up front.
But how do you even know where to begin in terms of how much is too much?
Well, you should do it. You can learn a lot from the 203K guideline, right? Yeah. They do it in draws for a reason. So you should do it in draws. If it's good enough for the banks, then it's good enough for you.
Good tip.
So if you see that, let's say the project is a $100,000 project, and you get the scope of work, meaning the line item of all work that needs to be done, and you learn the process of what needs to be done first, which are the things that require you to have a permit, which is plumbing and electrical. Those are the first two things you know you're going to need permits for: plumbing and electrical. Then according to your city code, wherever you are, you have to ask yourself what on that scope of work requires a permit. And those are the things that are going to likely be done first. And then you say, okay, well, let's get those things done first, and that will be the first draw.
Gotcha.
Right? Then the permits are inspected. They pass city inspection. Then you'll go to the second draw. And then you'll make a decision based on your line item scope of work, what needs to be done in that second phase.
Gotcha.
And once those things are completed, fully completed, then you go to the third draw and release money to move to the phase until you get to the last phase where they complete all the work and you give them the last of the money. If you do it that way, you can hold your contractors accountable. You can look up the 203K renovation. You can actually look up examples of scope of work. You can look up phases. All these things are on Google. You can find them. And then and there's a reason why the government lays it out that way, because it's the best way for it to be done.
Now, you know what I love about you both is the fact that you're both very open about you guys weren't know-it-alls when you got started.
Never. Nah. We're still learning.
So on the show, we love to talk about lessons. Some people label them failures. I like to call them lessons.
Yeah, they are.
Outside of the lessons that you had with your first one, what are some recent lessons, quote unquote fails, but lessons you've learned that help you grow in your business?
I think a recent one is, for instance, we just did our first project with a government agency, right?
Okay.
And so they have paperwork that needs to be filled out if you're going to go back and request extra money. If there's something that happens on the project and it is outside of the budget that they've already given you, then there's you can't just assume that they can just give you the money at any given time, just give you the money. There might be a time period. There might be a time limit from the start date of the project. You have to know the rules. Again, it all goes back to rules.
Right.
You need to know the rules for that government agency in order for you to be able to go back and ask for more money for your project. And if you don't follow the rules, you can only be mad at yourself that you didn't know the rules and you didn't follow it. And then they say, oh, that money has to come out of your pocket in order to complete the project.
I think the other one thing that's very important is understanding how permits work. Permits work through generally, reverse engineering this. The city council, your alderman, depending on what jurisdiction you're in.
What's an alderman?
That's a city council member.
Council member in Chicago is the alderman, because we have wards.
Okay.
Every ward has an alderman. And
you need to go to that alderman's office, that city council person's office, talk to the secretary or or whoever, and let them know who you are and that you need these permits to go through. Like another time that we lost time and to a degree money was when we waited a month and a half for the permits
for the inspection.
On the permit.
Not knowing that, you know, relationships within your city government. So for some people, it wouldn't be going to your city councilman's office. It would be going to the building department. It might be whatever it is, because, you know, every city's different. But you would go wherever you need to go to alert them that you've been waiting for inspections and you just can't wait forever. And you need to get someone involved. And part of that is developing relationships with people and letting them know who you are, that you do this on a regular, that this is like important to you. Can you, as the manager of this, please come to the site and walk through it with us? You know, it's like, can you educate us? However you want to spin it, so that they can start to care about who you are and know who you are and where you're working, and that you actually do care about the quality of your work and that you're not trying to break any rules.
Yeah, but you know, the beauty of that, can we segue there? You just talked about relationships. Everyone always says that real estate is all about relationships. How has relationships helped to grow your business and helped you to aid in improving your local community?
It's everything. It's everything. If we didn't have the relationships with our city council members, with different financial institutions, banks, mortgage companies, there's certain organizations like the National Organization for Minority Architects. We're developing that relationship now.
We went to their Christmas party.
Went to their holiday party. They invited us. We went there. The Chesterfield Association, for instance, that's a neighborhood association. Knowing those people, because when you get their support, they're like, "Oh, you need help with that," and then they volunteer information to you.
Oh, wow!
6 months. We had a workshop. We had a work stoppage in that single family home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We had a work stoppage for a month and a half. We went the day that we went down to the city council woman's office. She was there. Her secretary had us come back into the back of her office. She's like, "Hey, how you doing?" It was like, "We're okay, but we need your help." And we told her what permits we needed. She said, "Hold on real quick." She went and grabbed her phone right in front of us. She called to the superintendent. Now, this is a city of 3 million people. She called the superintendent and said, "I have some fine young men here who need their permits done tomorrow. They need the electrical, they need plumbing, and they need new construction permits verified tomorrow." She wasn't asking, she was telling. And it happened the very next day. If we had known that 6 weeks ago, we would have came to her office 6 weeks ago.
But we didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is develop relationships with everyone, people, the community members, because all of us we're renovating a home that is part of a greater community. So there's a block club, or there's some kind of other neighborhood or organization there. You need to know those people because they can end up being assets to you.
Yeah.
Then you need to know the politicians locally who can have an effect on you. In some places, again, like I said, the city council member may not be the person. It might actually be going directly to the building department or the code department or whatever they call it in your neck of the woods. But developing those relationships at all those levels: community, private, public, private and public. When you develop those relationships,
now I'm writing this down. I don't play games. I'm writing this down.
And what happens too is everybody starts to learn your name, and people talk. So they'll be like, "Oh, you know them too? Oh, you know them too? Oh yeah, I know them." And before you know it, your reputation and your curiosity and your honesty and your character starts to carry in the wind. And then now people are, when they see you coming, they know what you're about, what you do, what neighborhood you probably work in, because most of us kind of concentrate in particular areas that we're real familiar with, right? And then people are like, "Oh yeah, I want to help those guys." And then the people who benefit from you, the ones who you buy your materials from, the different tradesmen, the different contractors that you work with, there might be contractors who are like, "Oh, I can't wait to get a job with them," because they've heard from other people that we provide and work, because we're job creators. When you're a developer, when you're a general contractor, when you're a developer, you're creating jobs for your community.
Your painter, your drywallers, I mean, your electrician, the people who clean up behind that. Because
just laborers,
because debris removal is at the very beginning. You're creating jobs for a whole bunch of people. Now wait, so that's the work side of it. That's the construction side of it. When you're a developer, or a general contractor or a project manager, whatever title you want to give yourself, you create 7 or 8 jobs on the construction side. But look at this, you create 7 or 8 jobs on the administrative side. You want to know how? The jobs that you create on the administrative side. You created a job for your lender, your mortgage lender, for your realtor, for your attorney, for the home inspector. I'm at 4. Well, you're my fan. 4. All right. Your home inspector, your 203K consultant, if you're doing a 203K, for your smart home consultant is what we're calling them now, who gives you your smoke detector, your CO, your thermostat, and ties it all into your security alarm system. And if you have basements in your area, the smart home consultant is usually the person. We're talking like Brinks, for instance. That's who we work with. Okay. They have flood detectors they put into your basements. Mm-hmm. So think about that. Mm-hmm. On one home that you were doing a renovation, you've created 16 jobs for 16 individual people to put food on the table for their families.
That's real. I never looked at it that way though, because that is another form of community activism right there. Because people need jobs.
And think about this: there are certain neighborhoods, in certain communities where there are no renovations going on. Yeah. There are homes that are vacant and they've been vacant for a decade, and no one's doing any work, which means that those 16 jobs are not happening on any projects in that neighborhood. Yeah. But imagine if there were 10 different projects going on simultaneously, creating jobs both on the construction and the administrative side of that deal. We're important. Like the visionary, the developer is the visionary. He's the person who sees something that no one else saw. A home that's been vacant for a decade, no one else saw the vision, but you saw the vision. And then McKenna Realtor, and then created, hey McKenna, we see we met her in Houston. Yeah. But yeah, you're creating all of this with your vision. It's so important for your community. We're talking about if we want to move to community development. Community development is doing one project in your community to take a blighted home and create a blighted house and then create a home and then create those 16 jobs on either side of the construction or administrative side of that deal.
But you know what? Can we segue into, we're still talking about community activism and improvement. Can you guys go into, I love the work you guys did with the community garden. To me, that is a very tangible and actionable step that someone can do today, or not today, it's nighttime, tomorrow. What did you guys do in order to create a community garden?
Well, the community garden came out of the fact that there was an abandoned lot, like across the street and 2 doors down from Anthony's house. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know who owned the lot, but we did know that people were like parking derelict cars there, throwing trash on it. It was like, and this is a beautiful block, a beautiful neighborhood. Right. It made no sense. We weren't the only ones who came there and renovated a home and then stayed there. Like there, people invested in this block on the south side in a neighborhood called Bronzeville. And when I saw that car over there, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna give it a couple of days. I'm gonna give it 5 days. I'm gonna give it 6 days. A week went by and nothing happened. There was no ticket on the car from the police. There was nothing that indicated that anyone was gonna do anything about it. And I remember listening to, our former president, Obama. Mm-hmm. And one day he said something about you have to be the change that you want to see. Yep. Mm-hmm. You have to be the change that you want to see. You want to see something change on that vacant lot over there. You have to do something about it personally. So then I went to Home Depot, and many of you may not know this. Both Home Depot and Lowe's, and I believe Menards too, all have community development programs. They have funding. They have money that if you come with an actual plan and that you have permission or ownership of that vacant land that you want to do a garden on, they will give you all of the materials for free. But Home Depot went further. Home Depot not only gave us all of the materials to do the garden, they actually gave us 5 employees for 8 hours. Gave us a whole work day with 5 employees to actually help put together the wood that they gave us to be able to create the plots.
Garden, yeah.
Garden.
and we made like 4 of them, and all of them were like 4 by 10 lots that we could plant. That we could plant flowers, and one of them we put fruits and vegetables in, and whatever, and all the flowers.
Those weren't the only people that came. Understand, like, you know, our village started coming out for us. Our fraternity, Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. You know, we had about, like, I want to say 6, 7 of our fraternity brothers come out to help us. People from that didn't even know what was going on were looking down from their apartment windows, and then came outside and
actually
with the wood chips.
Actually, for clarity on that part though, we went around and actually put flyers up. But it was one of the surprising things. So you know the houses were owned by homeowners, and then there were like 2 big apartment buildings that were on either side of this lot. They had maybe 20 or 30 apartments in it. So I kind of thought that the homeowners would be the ones committed to doing this garden. It ended up being the people who were renters.
Wow.
In the apartment building. They were the ones who were the main ones that came out. So Home Depot gave us the materials, gave us the manpower. They actually also gave us grills and charcoal. Then we went to Walmart. Walmart donated like $300 worth of hot dogs and hamburgers and pop and water. Of course,
y'all are Midwest pop. That's adorable.
Yeah.
Of course, the engine company came out
from the fire department.
Yeah,
they came out to help.
We had about 2-3 police officers that was either part of the beat or part of CAPS.
CAPS was the community. I can't remember. It's the community program liaison to the neighborhood. So we had police out there. We had fire out there helping. They grabbed a shovel, was helping. We got the city council member, all the alderman for the 3rd ward. She came and she got the city trucks to bring the chips, the wood chips, and I'm talking about 2 tons. And they dumped the 2 tons of wood chips to surround the flower. So we went to so remember I said the relationships, public and private.
Yeah.
Public means going to the community. That's the public. Public also means going to your political representative, which is in this case our alderman, city council member. Public is going to the fire department and police department because that's public safety.
Okay.
And then private was going to Walmart and Home Depot. And actually, I went to the Toyota dealership because I owned a Toyota. I still own a Toyota. Went to the Toyota dealership and they actually gave us trucks. And they actually put the pickup trucks so we could transport stuff. And then we used the trucks to actually block off the block. So, you know, it was blocked off.
And of course, all these agencies were taking pictures for their own, you know, benefit, which is fine. Because you want everybody to be able to say, we helped and we're proud of what's going on today.
Oh, I love that.
So it was relationships.
Yes.
And not being afraid to ask, not being afraid to be curious and ask questions of people, both at the public and the private sector.
Remember, at this point, we were not TV stars. We didn't have no podcast. We were just firefighters that happened to be doing this on off day.
Right.
Beautiful. But the one thing I just need to clarify: did you guys had to seek out who owned the land before doing this, or
I did? I did.
Glad you brought that up.
I did.
Because I mean, I can make a garden right now. My neighbor's really pissed about it. So how does that work?
He helped me. I think it was my realtor.
We had to track it down. It was like a company.
It was
the north side.
Somehow, some way, we tracked it down to the company because actually we found a company that owned it. It was in their company's name, and I called the number. No one picked up, but then I sent a letter, and then they responded to the letter and gave us permission to actually use. But that only took a week.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that is fantastic.
And then they said, "Yeah, do it." So
I love that so much. But here's the thing, though. What you've highlighted in many ways is how the work you guys have done has helped and improve the community. See, here's the thing. People always think that volunteering and improving communities requires you to not make a profit. But you guys are running a business that does turn a profit, but does aid in helping your community. They both can happen. It is possible. I love that. So oh no, it's not time to wrap up. But before I forget, I want you guys to go in a little bit more about how you are continuing to educate the community. What things have you guys done to educate the masses about real estate investing and the community as a large?
All right, so along the way, we started to pick up sponsors, people who and it was kind of crazy sometimes. Sometimes we approach people, organizations or banks or whatever, and say, "Hey, we need your help." But then people started approaching us because now we have a little bit of notoriety. People start to know who we are.
Yeah, Guaranteed Rate approached us.
Right.
Oh, cool.
And what I did, I was like, okay, well, can you guys sponsor an event for us? Because we would love to do a seminar where we educate people about the process of buying a home or doing a 203K renovation, and it would benefit your business. And they say, oh yeah, we do stuff like that all the time. So what many people don't know is that the businesses that are in your niche, whatever it is that you do, your business, there are companies who want to do community outreach so that the world know that they exist. And they have dollars put to the side specifically to sponsor events and programming. So then we use that money to make it free to go, because it costs money to be able to go get an event space. It costs money to maybe provide refreshments. It costs money for different things, overhead, as they say. And the sponsorship pays for that, so that now you're free to just give out information. In some instances, now we can only do so many free things.
Yeah.
Before at some point we have to do something that turns a profit, because we are spending a lot of our time and energy on it.
True.
But when we can, yes. I mean, we had 3 events last year that were absolutely free.
The one we did at the Promontory, we had 250 people come in.
Oh, wow.
Event because we had sponsorship.
Right. And you can see the video from that on our Instagram account. If you kind of scroll down, we have an IGTV that shows us that event.
Right. So what event do you have coming up this Saturday, gentlemen?
All right, so we have
you see me dragging it out of you, right?
Real estate, referral, and this thing is going to be big because we have all our people coming out. Our realtor is going to be there. Starting at the top, our lender is going to be there. Our realtor, then our real estate attorney, an inspector, 203K consultant if you're going to do 203K.
Gotcha.
And the people will check off when they reach the venue. They'll check off which ones they need for whichever type of program they're doing, whether it's a 203K renovation, or whether it's actual flip, or whether it's just a buy and hold. Because some people just want to own property. They might not necessarily want to be an entrepreneur
for cash flow.
Exactly.
Not just owning property for the sake of owning it, but to own it.
Cash flow.
But everyone on our real estate team will be available, because people are constantly in our DMs, constantly contacting us, asking for referrals, asking who are your contractors, who are this, who is that. Well, come to this event. Not only will we give you the entire team that are trustworthy and that actually have executed projects for us, but then we'll also give you the strategies that we go forward with. So it's the strategy and referral event happening January 8th at which is on excuse me 18th.
18th.
January 18th.
A week from
January 18th.
Yeah. So next Saturday.
Yeah. So this not even next. This coming Saturday.
Saturday.
How do I know your event more than you? So for everybody watching, we don't have much time left. So make sure that you click the link in the Downing Brothers bio to go ahead and grab your ticket for their event. But because they are so awesome, I wanted to say thank you. And so what I did is that I bought a ticket. Dun, 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 dun. Can I pin it? Technology is crazy, man. Let me see if I can do this. Ooh, it showed up.
And click bio for YouTube link. Oh, no, that's not
okay. And then over here it says text twins to 31996.
Why do you need to text twins to 31996? Because I bought a ticket and I'm giving it away.
What? Nice. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're really going to be helping. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Because they couldn't purchase the ticket. They really wanted to come. So now, hey, they need to get in contact with you. They need to text you.
Yeah.
TWINS to 31996.
That's it. That's it. So remember, guys, you have to be willing to physically be in Chicago. This is not a virtual event. This is in person.
Come to the event.
So come to the event. January 18th. At what time? Where?
It's noon to 2.
Noon to 2. Mm-hmm. Will there be delicious snacks and nibbles?
Food is.
You gotta alert the people. Let them know.
Meal and entree. Meal and beverage comes with the ticket. We also have a swag bag that we're giving them. It's full of information from all of our panelists, so that they can walk away with actionable intel and the information for all of our real estate teams, so they can walk away and that team becomes their team.
Ooh, that should be your slogan. That was good. Make my team.
Our
That's good. Write that down. Write that down. Now, for those of us who are sadly not in the Chicago area and they want to continue to just get all of this awesome Downing goodness and realness, what can they listen to?
They can listen to Homecoming with the Downing Brothers podcast. You can find that on Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and many more platforms. Mm-hmm. Please go and look up Homecoming with the Downing Brothers. We have real estate, business, and financial literacy. We have a guest every episode that educates people in one of those aspects, and we get the real deal, no fluff. We actually break down deals. We have people tell their actual stories, what they had to overcome, how they landed in the career path that they're in. We get the real story with the real examples, no fluff.
You bring the tea. You make them sell their souls.
That's right.
Come to our podcast and become a homecoming homie.
That's right.
Now, we do have a couple more minutes, so I asked everyone the same thing. Can you tell me some influential books, YouTube videos, podcasts, anything that has aided in your education? And it doesn't have to be on real estate in general. Honestly, everything here is about mindset. So has there any books that have been influential in getting this mind right?
Well, I mean, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was 16 years old. Right. So I read that in high school. And so it was one of those things where I read it, I appreciated it, but then, you know, as the years go by, I wasn't able to apply it immediately. Mm-hmm. But once I graduated from college, 6 years later, I graduated from college, and I get that from my mom. Hey, you better. Then I went back and actually found the book and read it again, and I was like, wait, now I can apply this. This is actual, actionable intel, and it's a philosophy on how to move when we make decisions with money and developing relationships, and the types of questions we should ask, and who we should go out and make our mentors.
Ooh, I like that.
We all have mentors.
I want everybody to also notice that there's two of us, and if you think you can't afford to do a project like this, or you don't want to take the risk on by yourself, get a partner.
Yes.
It does not need to be your blood brother that you shared the womb with for 9 months. Some of us are going to have, life partners, and so some of us are just going to have people that we talk real estate with all the time, but never considered actually doing a project together with. That.
One of the things I find inspiring is when I see, what another thing you can do, change your social media.
Yes.
Specifically on Instagram.
Yes.
For instance, on our Downing Brothers page, people will notice like, oh, they don't really follow back. Well, we only follow, if you look at who we follow people or pages that educate us in business or real estate, so that every time we're looking down that timeline, we're getting educated, because all we follow are people who can pour into us. Information that we can learn, that reminders on how to be disciplined, reminders on how to stay inspired, reminders on what we could be aspiring to. So what you put in front of you, what you read every day, that what happens up here in your mind, a lot of it is visual. So you have to take the negative stuff, the stuff that depreciates in value.
Look, remember, we weren't always real estate influencers and on TV and all that stuff. There was a time where I had at least 100 thirst traps that were constantly coming down my timeline. This ain't no whole. This is like just realizing I'm up here. I want to win. I want to win. I want to make money doing this. It's something outside of risking my life for 24 hours every third day. Yeah, we do have a risky career, but everything is visual for me. And for many of us, and what we see becomes our reality. Our perception becomes our reality. So I'm always looking at things that inspire me and educate me. And then also the activities I get involved with, the places that I go, instead of going to the party and drinking and so on and so forth, going to networking socials, going to different types of organizations during holiday party season, going to those places, not just to get the free open bar, but to actually meet people that will lead to new opportunities. The things that people see. And now we might have some new people that's going to be following us now. Yeah. When you watch the things that are about to unfold, even like I'm talking about like 2 days from now, when y'all see what happens 2 days from now, right? These things did not happen by accident. They happen by active engagement. Meaning I fall asleep thinking about what I need to do to make my dreams come true. What actions can I take to make my dreams come true? What phone calls that need to be made? What texts need to be made, like proactively made to people? What do I need to respond to? What documents need to be submitted on time? What do I need to do when I wake up the next morning? Then when I wake up the next morning, I'm hungry. I love this game. I'm passionate about how we're going to create these relationships and be able to make these events happen.
And there is life balance. Don't understand, when we get off this live, we're going to be watching the NFL playoffs. But we also know what we had needed to do during the course of today before we got to that part.
Right, because this is the third thing we did today for the Downing Brothers brand. Wow. The third thing we did today on a Sunday. Yeah. And I got off work from the firehouse this morning at 7 a.m., went home, took a shower, went to the gym to work on my body so that I can then be strong enough to do the things I need to do. Then went to a brunch with our realtor, not just because the food was great, but it was another opportunity for us to game plan how we were going to add value to her business and how she can add value to our business, because we can coordinate and all make money together. There's enough out here for all of us if we coordinate. In the fire service, we call this a coordinated attack.
Oh, I like that.
A coordinated attack is when two fire companies, one has the water, they're putting the water out, and the other one is doing the rescue. The other one's doing the forcible entry. They're coordinating their abilities for the greater cause to accomplish the mission. So if you have a coordinated attack with your real estate team or your business, if you own a business and with your business team, a coordinated attack allows everyone to win.
Chris Monroe, they're from Chicago. They're not far from you. Sorry, Chris is asking down in the comments. For my lovely people who are still hanging out with me on Instagram, the timer is about to run out. So we are about to wrap up. If you don't want to miss any more gems and tidbits, go ahead and click the link in my bio and move over to YouTube. If you can't stay, make sure to text twins to 31996 to have the opportunity to win a ticket to hang out with these gentlemen this Saturday in Chicago. You don't want to miss that opportunity. I wouldn't want to miss that opportunity. I can't take a flight right now. It's too crazy.
The weather is something else right now.
No, I'll see you on the fall.
No doubt.
I've heard about your winters. I've heard about them. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. This is refreshing. I really appreciate this.
This has been fun. Is there any special message that you want the public to know about the Downing brothers?
We want people to go to the Downing Brothers on Instagram and on Facebook. Go to the downingbrothers.com where you can learn more about us. Again, we have a live event coming up on January 18th. Please, if you can't come to the event in the Chicagoland area, tell other people that may benefit from being able to use our team as their own team, so they can.
And if you want us to do the renovation, let us know.
And let us know. We'll do that for you. We can do the renovation for you if you want to take it off your hands. And the other thing too, we have a motto: dream, plan, execute. It's real simple. Do those three things for yourself. Love yourself, take care of yourself so that you can love and take care of others.
That was a good closeout. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So I want to let you go and take your nap, and so you can be refreshed and ready for the game. Who are you rooting for tonight?
Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Yes, Russell Wilson.
They got to take down the Packers.
Okay. Well,
we're never going to root for.
We're never going to root for the We're Bears fans over here, so I want the Packers to get taken down.
All right. So everyone, go ahead and make sure you follow the Downing Brothers on Instagram. Make sure that you download their amazing podcast that they have called Homecoming
with the Downing Brothers.
Homecoming with the Downing Brothers. I love that. Homecoming with the Downing Brothers. Click the link in their bio to make sure you receive the opportunity to go and be at their event in person. If you want a free ticket, then text twins to 31996 and you might be able to get a free ticket. Either way, gracias. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Besos. Ciao.
Bye-bye.